Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Joshua from Airsoft, and today I'm super excited to be reviewing a newly released product from Hidden Airsoft, and that would be their summer crafting kit. Now this has been specifically designed to come onto the market for ghillie crafters like myself or you guys, and it's a one-stop box for everything you need to craft your summer loadout. So let's get into it.
So the first thing I noticed is, well, it's in a cardboard box, and it might seem quite silly that, we're comparing packaging here, but if you look at other competitors on the market and their products, they come in these giant Ziploc bags. And the problem with that is that when you're done with your crafting, you're going to have leftover bits of material. And yes, you're going to shove them in the bag and then throw them somewhere, but they're not very durable. Whereas with a cardboard box, you know that anything left over, you can put them safely in here. You can throw this in a cupboard or in a drawer or something. You know it's not going to get damaged. Plus, obviously, it's made of recyclable material, the cardboard, so we get to save the polar bears as well. So, good on. Now, as we open up the product, you'll notice that it's laid out quite nicely inside. The first thing that your eyes are immediately drawn to is this bundle of ghillie mesh that we've got in the corner here, and we're going to talk about that a bit more in detail a bit later. But overall, it looks nice, it feels nice, it feels like more of a premium product. You have the nice Hidden Airsoft branding on the front here, and yeah, it just gets you excited really. So let's dive into exactly what's in this box. So first of all, you have three different shades of raffia here. You have a lighter green, a more darker or medium green, and then you have your natural look as well. So this is quite nice that you get three different varieties of raffia. A lot of the time the kits only come with one, maybe two, so it's nice to have a bit of a variety here. It saves the pain and the faff of having to dye your own raffia, so it's nice just to have it already included in the pack. You obviously then get quite a bit of coconut rope here, and this is actually a little bit thinner than some of the competitors, but I quite like that. Of course, you can unwind this if you want to thin it out even further, but that's a nice amount of coconut rope there. Moving on, we have two different varieties of cotton leaves here. So we have almost like a beigey dead leaf color, and then the light's not really picking that up very well, but that's quite a dark brown there. If I'm perfectly honest with you, if I'm going to use this for a summer craft, I'm probably not going to use too many of these, so it does feel a little bit overkill having all of these materials here. I would potentially like to see a green variety of the cottons. Two browns and beiges may seem just a little bit too much here, and also there's literal hundreds of these things, and I think you could probably get away with just dividing these packs in half and then having more greens in there, or at least a couple of different varieties of colors. So yeah, it's nice to have, but if I'm honest with you, it's sort of like an oversight. I wouldn't really immediately think, oh, I need to buy this pack for these leaves here. But anyway, it's a nice to have. You obviously get your crafting all here. For those that don't know what this is, essentially it's so that you can craft onto any bases that don't have an include mesh. So for example, if you're crafting directly onto a BDU or any sort of equipment like a rig, you simply pierce the material, feed a zip tie through, and then you can attach your material. So it's nice to have this included. I've got a few of them already. You can pick them up fairly cheap on Amazon, but again, nice to have. And I think that a lot of people will probably like having this included in the kit. Of course, a crafting kit wouldn't be complete without an absolute stash of brown or green zip ties to be able to attach your materials onto any sort of base or mesh. So it's good that it comes with more than you need really, zip ties, but again, really helpful to have, and obviously anything left over, you just sort of store them for future use. So moving on to really the star of the show here, again, you have these three beautifully coloured different sort of ghillie meshes here, and you may probably think to yourself, I've seen that before, and you probably have. If you've been following the likes of Kicking Mustang and Silly Ghillie, they include what they call AGM, adaptive ghillie mesh, into their kits, and it's very, very similar stuff. It's not made by them, so don't think you're getting AGM. However, the properties of the mesh are very, very, very similar. And when I did a bit of a colour comparison between this and the AGM included in the Kicking Mustang City Ghillie crafting pack, they're very, very close. So, I would agree that I wouldn't say that I favour one more over the other. However, it's nice to have these, and I think this again is really what people are buying the kit for. I would say length of the material rather. Oh, just knocked the tripod there. Length of the material, I think, if I'm honest with you, I would like to have more. This isn't the same amount that you do get included in other kits. I think There may be enough here to be able to do a full ghillie suit if it's a green suit, that is. If you're turning brown to green, I don't think it would be enough. But if you're starting off with a green suit, you know, something like a Novrich or something like that, then yeah, it probably would extend out to be able to do a full suit. But I probably wouldn't go as far as doing rigging and rifle wraps and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll dive more into each individual product and see how they compare. So I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison of the Hidden Airsoft Ghillie mesh alongside AGM, just to really see how the colours vary. So everything you see on the right hand side here, here and here is AGM, and everything on the left hand side here, here and here is the Hidden Airsoft Ghillie mesh. Now this is under a bright artificial light. Unfortunately, natural daylight is fading. And to be honest with you, the first reaction really is that the lighter greens and the mediums, there's not that much of a difference. However, in the darker greens, there does seem to be quite a bit of difference. There definitely does seem to be a lot more sort of saturation in the materials, especially with the AGM, and there is quite a bit of contrast there. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think that, you know, if you're going to look at this from sort of 50, 60, 70 meters away, where most engagements are going to happen on the airsoft field between snipers, you're not really going to tell. It's not really going to matter. I think I'd like to look further into this and do more of like a daylight test and see how it reacts in different lighting conditions. But I think, you know, I'm not going to sit here and look at this under a microscope. I think at the end of the day, they're all designed to achieve the same thing. And I think the mesh that the Hidden Airsoft Ghillie pack has produced definitely does that. So I think they've done a good job of it, to be honest with you. And I guess you're going to have to make your own minds up if you have a certain preference. But for me, I don't. I think that either will work extremely well.
So it's pointless me blabbering on about how good the crafting kit is if I don't really show you how it could be used in practice. So here's a BDU that I'm crafting up for the summer. I'm choosing not to wear a full ghillie suit because it just gets way too hot in the summer months. And I used a lot of the materials in the crafting kit on this base. I've used the meshes and the cottons and the raffias. And all in all the products worked really well, especially the different coloured raffia. It just meant that I didn't have to faff around and dye raffia, different shades of green. So it just saved me money and time in that sense. And that's the whole reason why you buy a pre-done crafting kit. And yeah, I'm really impressed. I have to admit though, maybe one of the downsides, and again, just going back to my earlier point of the brown cottons, there were just way too many of them. I really only used a handful here just to break up and add a bit of contrast into the greens. I feel like potentially half the amount, and then use the other half as green cottons, or even throwing in some different materials such as this artificial ivy. But overall, this is what you can achieve with just a little amount of material. Actually, I've got quite a lot left, and this has been field tested and it works an absolute charm.
Awesome. Well done.
So what are my final thoughts on the Hidden Airsoft Summer Ghillie Crafting Pack? To be quite frank with you, I think it's actually a really good product. There's definitely a few improvements to be made there, but I think if you're in the market for a one-stop pack that's going to take your summer loadout to the next level, especially as a ghillie crafter, this is definitely it for you. I have a discount code running in the description, so make sure you check out Hidden Airsoft and use RIDX10 on your checkout to get a bit of discount. But overall, I'd give this probably around about 8.5, 9 out of 10. As I said, some improvements to be made, but really good. If you like this type of content and you'd like to see more of it, comment about what you'd like to see in future videos. I can do reviews of ghillie related products or airsoft related products. So yeah, let's build a little bit of a community together and get involved, like and share, and get your friends involved as well too. Every little helps. Cheers guys for watching. Thank you.